Today I've prepared another video for you that's all body weight, more Pilates based. We're going to start standing, move to a little bit hands and knees, down to our sides, on our stomachs, and on our backs, and finishing back up here again. So I hope you enjoy it, something a little different. So we begin with heel and toe taps. Let's start with the toe, just tapping forward. Little weight shift, challenging the hips, the abs. Take this moment to put the tongue onto the roof of your mouth, just behind the teeth. Breathing in through your nose, expanding through those ribs. And as you exhale, through the nose again. Let's switch to heel taps. So you can keep that rib expansion going. Help to increase our intra-abdominal pressure, thereby stabilizing our spine. All right, let's take our feet about that hip distance apart and just start with a few little baby squats. Don't go real deep. You find your range. And as you start to feel a little warmer, deepen that squat just a bit. All right, you want to keep the weight of your body evenly distributed over your feet. Not all in the heels, not all in the toes, but right through the center. So my knees are bending, my hips are moving back, my chest is up, my spine is long from the crown of my head out through my tailbone. My sit bones, the bumpy part of your butt, aiming straight back. Now, if this feels good to you, you can stay right here, or you can add a little bit of forward flexion. Our arms go back and we reach up. Go back and up. Go back. Sort of if you've ever cross-country skied, the double pulling. Using your abdominals almost to pull your arms back. And then if you want to add on to this, come up on the toes. Let's see how our balance is doing. Up on the toes, lower the heels around. Now, always as an option, eliminate that flexion in your upper back if you have osteoporosis, and if that is an issue for you that doesn't feel good. Always straight back version is welcome, or the round. One more. Very good. Bring it back down. Let's go wider with the turnout. Now add a little bit of work into those hips. Arms out wide. Release your inner ballerina. Again, weight even across the whole foot. This time, instead of our sit bones moving behind us, they're dropping straight down. We're still breathing in and out. Trying to keep those abdominals engaged. If you can go a little deeper, if that feels good to you, feel free, as long as we're not tucking that tailbone under. Yeah? We're keeping that spine nice and neutral. We're adding that turnout. Our knees are over our second or third toe, yeah? All right, we're gonna stay low and just add a little ankle mobility. Alternating sides, feeling the heat build in our thigh bones, our quads. As you come up on the toes, try not to put all the weight into the ball of the foot, but really even across that whole width. One more here, and then if it feels good, try the double heel lift. And 5, 4, 3, squeeze that seat, 2, 1, and stand it up. Bring our feet back together, and let's go into a little forward lunging, stepping forward and alternating, right? Stepping forward and alternating. We have a little knee bend in the front. The heel may or may not stay down behind you, depends on how tight your calves are. All right, and now let's take that into a little bit off to the side. Little side lunge, alternating sides. So we're at, if we were a clock, we'd be at 3 and 9. Yes. Warming up those arms, the shoulders, of course the core. And now we'll take the feet back behind us. Now what I'd like you to try and do as you do this is not put a whole lot of weight in that back foot so that we start to challenge the balance a little bit. All right, and let's take that up now and try up to balance. We'll do 5 on each side. Really press through the foot of that standing leg and squeeze that seat. I believe this is number 5. Bring it down, other side. Just tap and up. Find that work in that butt cheek. There we go. Get my arms right. 2, whoo, and 1. Beautiful. Let's try it with the side lunge. Out to the side and up to our balance. Just press off. And we can add a little fancy leg there. 2, holding that turn out. 1. Roll the shoulders. Let's try the other side. Out to the side and up. Press through that leg. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful job. Let's roll that. So now, many of you know I'm a Pilates instructor and have been so for over 20 years. Let's do a standing 100. All right, so challenging balance, working a little bit more on the breath, getting the arms pumping, really improving our circulation. To do so, the first 50 pumps will be with this one leg forward, and then we'll switch. Spine is nice and long. Think of axial elongation. So I'm pressing through my standing leg, lifting up on the arch, squeezing the seat, finding that inner thigh, the belly's in. I'm going to lift that toe off. Option always to keep the toe on, of course. And pulses. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale. 20. 30. How deep can you pull those abs in? 40. 50. Slide that foot back. Let's do the other leg. Reset. Press through the left foot. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, or at whatever foot you're standing on. Inhale. Exhale. 30. 40. 50. Draw it in. Inhale, little plie. Exhale, up on the toes. Reach along. Come back down. All right. Let's go. Feet a little bit apart. And just a little bit more kind of stretching. We're going to do scissor arms here. And then add, this time as we go back, add a little reach back and forward. Other arm up and a little bit forward. 3. We're still keeping those abs in. 4. And now arms come up and let's split those arms. Adding a little bit of rotation. And a little bit of chest opening, because all our online time, we can really use those openers. Last one, goalpost arms. Lift, reach up. Keep those abs in. Reach and lift up. We'll see this again in some of our floor work. 3 and 2 and 1. Reach those arms overhead. You may have done this halo with a weight, but we're just going to use our body weight now. Opening up, those elbows can be soft to open up the chest. Getting our little upper hula on and reverse that circle. Opening, keeping the abdominals in, still pressing through the foot, lifting up on the arch, everything still reaching up towards the ceiling. Let's do one more. Very good. Shake it out. Now would be a great time to grab your water. Remember, we want to keep hydrated, keep everything feeling good. We're going to move on to our hands and knees next. So if you need a little extra padding for your knees, please roll your mat up, add a pillow. That always adds a little bit of extra instability anyway, which can always be a plus. So we've had our water, we're coming down onto our hands and knees. All right, so we want our knees right under our hips, nice vertical line. We want our hands right under our shoulders. To help with wrists, you can almost feel as if you're trying to grab the mat and pick it up with all 5 fingers. So their weight is more evenly distributed through the hand, less pressure on the wrist. That's still not good. Always an option to be on your forearms, of course, or to hold on to a dumbbell if you have got them. All right, here we go. Bird dog, you all know it, you all love it. We're gonna slide one leg up. We're not gonna lift it up yet. I want you to find that connection in the seat and then float that up. So rather than height, think length. Now, if you feel comfortable, take the other arm out here. Holding here, we're gonna go out to the side and reach up. Out to the side and reach up. 3 more, like that. 2, 1. Bring it down. Bend this knee and we point the toe and push up. We flex the foot and push up. We straighten it out. So bend, point, flex, straight. Bend, flex, point, straight. Oops. Up, flex, point, straighten. 2 more. Point, up, flex, up, point, reach long. We'll get this one. Point, up, flex, up, point, long. Bring it down, slide it in. Other side. Slide the leg out, float it up. Find your balance with your breath. Reaching the arm out if you feel comfortable. Reach out to a T and forward. Just some shoulder mobility. Challenging stability. You can push down through the floor foot. 2 and 1. Bring that hand down. Bend the knee. Pointing up. Flexing up. Point and reach. Bend. Up. Flexing up. Point. Reach. Bend. Up. Flex. Up. Point. Reach out. Bend. Up. Flex. Up. Point. Reach out. Last one. Bend. Up. Little neuro challenge for that mind. Let's bring that down and in. Take a quick break off those wrists. And if you need to, just kind of bend them the other way. Put just a wee bit of pressure on there, whatever feels good. All right. We're going to go back to our quadruped. Again, grab the mat with your hands. Knees are under, all right? And the first section of this, we keep our spine neutral. We take our one hand and bring it to the knee. So we're trying to maintain my neutral. I go out and in. 5, 4, reaching long. Again, length, not height. And last one, we're going to add on a little bit of rounding and then extending, rounding, and extending. 3 more here. And reach. Actually, let's do a total of 8, so we have a few more than that. Here's 5. And let's do 3 more. Getting that whole body involved. Stabilizing through the shoulder. Pressing down through that floor foot. Here's our last one. Hand comes down. Foot comes down. Drag the knee back in. Let's do the same thing on the other side, shall we? Slide it out. Lift it up. Bring the other arm in. And trying to maintain a neutral elbow to knee without much change, minimal change in that spine. We have 3 here. Left, pressing down through the floor foot. 2. And 1. Here we go. And now add our round and our reach. Round. Now if one of these positions doesn't feel good on your spine, eliminate it. Just don't do it. You find what opens you up, right? We have 3 more here. 2. Remember, grabbing that mat with the other hand so it's not on your wrist. Reach out long. Bring the hand down. Bring the leg down. Bring the knee in. Take a little rest. All right, maybe come up here. Roll those shoulders up. We have a little bit more quadruped work to do. I know you can do it. So we got a little bit into this before, but this time we'll be on our forearms, going into our donkey kicks. So we bring one leg up, flex that foot, look down, make sure your hip isn't rotated here or here, but those hip bones are shining face down. Flex that foot and then pulses up for 20, 18. Really find the spot right where your butt and your thigh come together. All right, really get that nice heat going there. We're gonna bring that down. Pressing down through my floor foot, I bring the other leg up, I flex that foot, I check my hips, and push, thinking right where my butt and thigh come together. Whew, little Beatles tune there, come together. So we don't have music here. We, just because of licensing issues. So feel free to add your own tunes. Here's our last one. Bring it in. And now from here, nice long spine, little tricep presses. Don't want to think I forgot those arms. And it is, we're starting to expose those arms, getting warm out. Want to tone them up. And let's do 10 more here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Remember, you're grabbing the mat. 2, 1, and reach it back. Lovely job, lovely job. So let's just take a moment, open that chest back up, and we're moving into our side lying next. So again, natural break to grab a little bit of water. You gotta hydrate whether it's hot or cold. Well done, gang. All right, side lying. We're gonna start with our clams. Now, we wanna be able to keep that neck relaxed. So, I'm demonstrating here with my arm using as a pillow, but you could use a pillow, a yoga block, a smaller ball, something to rest your head on, all fine. We're lining up our spine, our back with the edge of the mat. I'm not quite at 90 degrees with the leg. I'm a little bit open here. I stick my butt out just a little bit to elongate, which actually elongates along the side, leaning my weight slightly forward so the weight is in the bottom thigh. When I look at, if I'm in the correct position, when I look at my thighs, my top knee will be slightly forward of the bottom knee. And then imagine you have a little mouse that wants to crawl under you. You want to keep that space open. We want to keep the space between the bottom of our rib, you place a thumb there, and the top of your hip. Place a middle or ring finger there and keep that space the same distance apart. Doesn't get bigger, doesn't get smaller, so that we really get the work in the glute. All right? So, squeezing the heels together, let's lift up and come back down. The trick is you don't want to roll back because then it's no longer your hip that's doing the work. We're getting into that lower back because it's always an eager beaver. It always wants to do more than it needs to. So if you concentrate during this clam on squeezing the heels together to lift the knee, you will get a better and deeper connection. Keep your breath going. In through the nose, and you can either blow out through gently pursed lips, kind of like blowing through a little straw, or out through your nose, whatever feels good. A couple more of these. I sort of lost count, but it's such a good exercise. All right, now let's bring the heels off and open out. All right, so we're challenging a little bit now. That bottom leg has to hold that external rotation of the hip while we move in and out of external rotation with the top leg. Maybe a little quaking going on. 3, 2, 1. Let's bring the heels back down. Stretch that leg out, all right? And we'll just reach up long and down. So the bottom knee can be bent for balance. However, if you want a little bit more challenge, you can straighten that leg out. Just changes the balance just a wee bit. We're still lifting through that waist. And 3, you want to feel that leg. Think length away from you rather than height. 2, and 1. We're going to kick forward with our heel and point the toe and come back. Again, you'll notice my hips aren't rolling forward or back. I'm keeping them stacked. I'm keeping that lift, right? If you want to add a little more instability, put the top hand down and scissor those legs. Still working to keep the length in that waist. Oh, it's so fun. Remember, you always have the option to keep that bottom leg down or bent. Yeah. All right. Very good. Last one, or not the last one. We're going to stretch that leg out if you haven't before, but it can be forward. And we draw the leg up and reach. Bend the knee, reach up. And now we will get a little bit of that hip and the rib cage coming together, but you want to keep that as small a change as possible. All right. And now let's reverse that movement up straight. Now we do have a little bit more height. So there is going to be some movement of the hip towards the rib cage, but we're keeping those ribs nice and lifted. We're not sagging, we're not lying on a beach. Get that lovely turnout in our hip. Woo. And last one here, kind of a big circle around. Finding, remember we went forward, we went up, we went back. We're just putting it all together. One more in this direction. And then we reverse it. So forward, back, up, and down. We got the whole ball of wax here. 2 and 1. Lovely job. Let's bring that in. Give it a little pound. We're going on our backs. All right. or sorry, not on our backs, on our stomachs before we do the other side. So we're going to do a little swimming. We're going to break it up and then put it all together again. All right. So we start stretched out here. Okay. Hips pushing into your mat. Navel pulling away from the mat. Remember, we're breathing into our ribs to get that expansion. We're going to start just with our forehead on the mat. If it's more comfortable, forehead can rest on your hands here. And just one leg and then the other. So that thigh bone, you're reaching up and away from the mat without lifting your hips off the mat. And then, if that feels good and you want a bit more challenge, lift both legs up and little flutters. Really squeeze. Remember when we worked at the base of the butt, where the butt and thigh came together? It's back. And reach out long and down. Now keeping those legs long, let's add the arms, reaching up. And again, if you want to add a little more difficulty to this, lift up and flutter both arms, keeping that torso as still as possible. Reach long and together. So we're going to put all of that together. All right, we'll start out slow and then add the flutter kicks. You could always stick with one or the other, whatever felt better if you don't feel like it's available to you today to do both. So hips push into the floor, navel pulls away. We start one arm, opposite leg, just one at a time. Lengthening, my forehead is just floating off the mat. I'm breathing deep into my ribs. Last one here, and now if available to you, if you want to, add arm and leg flutter at the same time. Keep that breath flow, keep the air spinning. One more time. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, down. Bend the elbows, come up onto your knees, and reach that back for your shell stretch. Well done, guys. Very good. So now we have one more in this little prone series. Our hands are under our forehead. Our legs are apart. Our knees are bent and our heels come together. So just can't get enough glute work, right? So our forehead's resting here. Our hips are pushing into the mat. Our navel's pushing away. Our heels are squeezing together. And we're just pulsing up. Squeeze the heel. Try and lift the thigh off the mat just that wee little bit. It may or may not actually lift, but I want you to feel the squeeze in the heel and that lift in the hamstring, back of the thigh. But if you're feeling this in the low back, maybe just do the heel squeeze. All right, you're still going to get great hamstring glute connection, still get a stability challenge for the spine without any crunching in that low back, which is what we want to avoid. So let's do just 5, 4, either version, lift or no lift. 1. All right. We got to do the other side. So remember, just a few minutes ago, and here we go. We have to line everything back up. Our back's at the edge of the mat. You're using your arm or an actual pillow. We're not at a 90-degree angle at the hip. We're slightly open. Our legs are together. Our butt sticks out just a little bit. Shoulders stacked, yeah. We roll just a little bit forward so our weight is on that bottom thigh. Our top knee looks slightly forward of the bottom knee. We lift that waist up. We keep the distance between our rib and our hip the same. Squeeze the heels for those lovely clams. Squeeze to open. Three, 2, and 1. Then we had those floaters with the heel up. Really work that squeeze. So now our bottom leg is having to hold that external rotation, and our top leg goes in and out of it. Squeeze those heels. Don't forget it. Pull the navel in. Keep the breath going. There's so much to think about. 3, and 2, and 1. Bring everything back down. We stretch that top leg out. Bottom knee can stay bent for balance, and we just go in and up with that straight leg, trying to keep the distance between our rib and hip the same. So we're really focused on the length. Yes. All right, one more like this. We're going to hold it up and kick forward and back. Remembering, we're keeping those hips stacked, so we're not rolling backwards or forwards. If we want a little more balance challenge, straighten that top leg out. All right, or add the additional lift for scissor kicks. It's your workout. You make it what you want, right? Find what's available to you and do it the best you possibly can. We're all thrown a little bit off balance these days, so it's good to focus on the core, bringing it back to the center and grounding ourselves. All right, that's probably enough of that. We can bring that down, and then we'll add the little développé, in and out, up and down. So now we do get a little bit of lift of the hip towards the rib with that high side kick. But remember, you're trying to keep it as small as possible, reversing that pattern. Up first, bend the knee, press through. Trying to hold that external rotation, that turnout. 2 more is about right. Again, trying not to roll back. This one's an easy one to roll back on. And then those big circles. Putting our up and down, our forward and back together. Couple more in this direction, and then we switch it up. Ooh, my body was already ready to switch it. There we go. 6, long length through that body. Top hand could be on the floor for a little additional balance. That top leg can come more